Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Today is Tuesday, January 25th, 2022. Thank you for joining us at the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. There's a lot of news, politics, and culture that we'll be covering throughout today's episode. We'll be joined at around 8:30 by none other than Georgia Fort for On the Clock. As always, we'll be joined by DJ Exclusive, and Rebecca Azor will be joining us for Like It or Not. But this morning, I am always pleased to be joined by my brother from another mother, one of the most brilliant men that I have had the pleasure of knowing. And that is none other than Dr. Carl Mack, who I consider to be our historian. He doesn't consider himself to be a historian. I get it. But he is certainly our historian. How are you this morning, brother?
I'm good, my brother. And speaking of history, I might as well share this news with you. I just got an email a couple of days ago from one Valerie Jarrett.
Oh, wow.
I think you may remember Valerie Jarrett, senior advisor to President Obama.
To Barack Obama. Mm-hmm.
And so now she's heading the Obama Foundation. And so they reached out to your boy. I got a feeling, Ben, they may have been watching the Ben Dixon Show.
He
called me and said, hey, would you mind coming to Chicago and being our Black History speaker at, I think the school is Hyde Park Academy, which is a neighborhood school for the Obama Foundation.
Wow. When is that? Because if, pandemic willing, I love Chicago. Chicago's like it's my most visited city. So when is that event?
So I'm going to have a conversation with them on February 2nd, a virtual conversation. And so in the email request, well, first I got an email request from Miss Jarrett herself asking if I would indeed be considered, because one of my former Seattleites, she actually went to Jackson State University and we met in Seattle. And so she now works with the foundation. And so she gave me a call and made the initial ask. And when I agreed, then I got a follow-up email from Miss Jarrett. And so now we're going to have a virtual conversation to talk about the nuances, because they said, look, we'd love to have you in person, but because of the pandemic, we clearly understand if you want to go virtual. But, at this point, chances are I'd be more than happy to get on a plane and be able to do it up. So we'll see.
Listen,
I'll let you know the details once I get them.
There's a clip, and Dwayne, I don't know if you can grab it, of Barry Weiss. She's a reporter, former reporter for the New York Times, talking about how tired she is of the pandemic. Now, when I saw that, I obviously know that's not something that most people should be saying. I'm going to be honest with you, but I've said the same thing. And I'm almost tired enough of this pandemic, Brother Mac, to get on a plane and come to Chicago and go to that event with you, because we have been locked down, triple vaxxed at this point. So if it's a live in-person event, and I think that's hilarious for me to say that of all people, Brother Mac. I'm going to dovetail this into the conversation this morning.
Sure.
At the beginning of this pandemic, I was absolutely the most. Have you seen the show Monk? Have you seen that show on? I forgot what network. Man, You would have thought I was Monk. I sprayed down everything. I washed down everything. And the only reason I stopped doing certain things was because the science said, okay, you don't necessarily need to wash down. Okay, so I won't wash down everything. But then, there's some things that science still says, even if you and I jump on that plane and we go, and I'm sorry, I know you're coming from Jackson. So shout out to Jackson State. You mentioned Jackson State. I absolutely love Jackson State. I believe that was the first HBCU marching band drum majors that I ever saw were those guys from Jackson State.
The Sonic Boom of the South.
But wait, is that the Sonic Boom of the South? I thought that was
then you thought wrong. Ain't but one, often imitated, never duplicated.
This is another reason I want us to get out of the pandemic. I don't want us to be tired of doing these things because we're simply tired of doing them. And that clip, Dwayne, is from her recent appearance with Bill Maher. I don't want us to just stop doing things simply because we want to stop doing them. I do identify with what she's saying. I am the person who started off this pandemic as Monk from the TV series. And now it's like, you know, my kids are vaccinated except my baby boy. I'm holding on for my baby boy, but short of holding on for my baby boy, who's not 5 yet, I'm ready to hit the road and get back to work, Brother Mac. So I don't want people to take the attitude of let's still follow the science, though. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, speaking of that, I think yesterday I kind of had a shock to my system because, you know, there's a doctor who has certainly been
the human jukebox. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm going to get cussed out. That Southern University is the human jukebox. Please forgive me, everyone in the SWAC. Please forgive me. This is my first year in the SWAC with Bethune-Cookman University. I'm so sorry, Brother Mac. I digress.
That's all right. Hey, it's important to get it right, Ben. It's important to get it right. But anyway, as I was saying, I kind of had a shock to my system yesterday from a science standpoint. Dr. Scott Gopley, who's been very sound in talking about the preventive measures to protect ourselves during this pandemic. So yesterday, I'm watching an interview with him where he is now saying, you know, we're coming close to the endemic, which is the end of this thing. And so he is one that is following the guidelines in Europe where they're now removing the mask and people are basically beginning to resume life as normal. And the science for him is that obviously COVID-19 and the Delta variant were far more deadly. And even though Omicron is more contagious, not as deadly. And because of the number of people who've been fully vaccinated, we're at that point where, you know, now it is time for us. I mean, he literally even talked about removing mask mandates. So, you know, slowly but surely, we're beginning to come out of it. And so one of the things that we have to wrap our mind around, folks like, you know, you and I and others who have been so very, very cautious in dealing with the pandemic is that how do you begin to resume life as normal? At what point does the science say, okay, it's time to step out? And to some degree, you know, I can clearly understand the concept of herd immunity, not as spoken from -45, but spoken from the science, because there comes a time where maybe this thing now comes down to a point that we've had various stages of it, that it begins to be no more than like a common cold or the flu. And that's pretty much what they talk about, the symptoms of Omicron for those of us who have been vaccinated and certainly boosted. That is no more than that. So that's going to be the part where we have to wrap our minds around to say, okay, how do we begin to get back to normalcy? And so it appears that from the science, you know, maybe that, you know, by the end of February, we should be well on our way to resuming life as normal.
Absolutely love my team. Dwayne, play this clip from Bill Maher. This is Barry Weiss. I want you to understand, I'm not a fan of hers. I'm actually rather a huge critic of hers, but she's all of a sudden like the it girl on the national stage. I don't want us to take the attitude that she has here, which is to dismiss the science. Like, if you're tired of the pandemic, I agree. But folks, people are still dying. Let's take a look at this clip.
Let's talk about the bit of a reset, I think, going on in the world with COVID. I've been asking for it for a long time. I see
No,
in Europe,
I'm done with COVID. I'm done. It's like
I have a double.
I went so hard on COVID. I
remember.
Sprayed the Pringles cans that I bought at the grocery store, stripped my clothes off because I thought COVID would be on my clothes. Like, I did it all. I watched Tiger King. I got to the end of Spotify. Like, we all did it, right? And
no, we didn't all do it.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of us did do it. And then we were told, you get the vaccine. You get the vaccine and you get back to normal. And we haven't gotten back to normal. And it's ridiculous at this point. I know that so many of my liberal and progressive friends are with me on this, and they do not want to say it out loud because they are scared to be called anti-vax or to be called science denial or to be, smeared as a Trumper. I'm sorry, if you believe the science, you will look at the data that we did not have 2 years ago, and you will find out that cloth masks do not do anything. You will realize that you can show your vaccine passport at a restaurant and still be asymptomatic and carrying Omicron. And you will realize, most importantly, that this is going to be remembered by the younger generation as a catastrophic moral crime. The city
right there,
of
Dwayne.
Flint, Michigan.
That's right, right there. A catastrophic moral crime, Brother Mac. Just for people listening, because I don't want the misinformation to go, a cloth mask at a bare minimum gets you 15 minutes, according to the CDC, it buys you 15 minutes of being around COVID with the possibility of not getting infected at a certain percentage of efficiency, right? A cloth mask is not an N95, but it gives you something. More importantly, if I could flip it, it stops you from spreading it. Now, where it's really effective, this is the part that people kill me with. And this is what she's trying to splice, the difference. While the cloth mask is not going to ensure that you are safe like an N95 mask would, a cloth mask protects your neighbor. And Brother Mac, I don't mean, I normally just toss it to you, but I want to sandbag this conversation a little bit, because that's the truth that they are flipping right there. That little sleight of hand is the propaganda that is ruining, that is the moral crime, right? That she talks about that at the end, is that they're taking a piece of truth and they're manipulating that piece of truth, because a cloth mask does not protect you like an N95. It absolutely does not. But you know what it does? It protects your neighbor. Brother Mac, go for it.
Well, see, here's another big, this ain't a little slice. This is a big part. And I was surprised that Mara didn't go in on her when she said, they lied to us because we all got vaccinated and we were supposed to be through this. And I'm sure your progressive friends would agree to this. No, I will not agree to that, because that is the problem. We didn't all get vaccinated, idiot. That's the problem. If when the vaccine came out, you and your crazy right-wing friends and those ill-informed conspiracy theorists had everybody got. Now, let's assume, Ben, that had everybody got vaccinated, and now we still saw these things,
we'd have a problem.
I still wouldn't call it a moral crime, simply because the variant could have been in its stages of mutating. But let's be absolutely clear. The reason why we're not through this is because people like you, not you, Ben, decided not to get vaccinated. So you had, when we had the vaccination, we had a chance to get it in under control. Folks didn't get vaccinated. And finally, let's be clear that if you want to define it as a moral crime, trust and believe, you need to remember the words of -45. This ain't a big deal. This is a democratic political football. We got this under control. Only one or two people got it. You need to remember what -45 did. He allowed this thing to get out of control. He is the one that created, quote, this moral crime, which has now resulted in the death of over 800 and some odd thousand Americans. That's where that moral crime was committed. So let us not forget that, little sissy.
That's right. That's the part. And so, and I'm surprised Bill Maher, because Bill Maher is friendly with her. That's why Bill Maher didn't take her to the woodshed, because that's his buddy.
Trust and believe, Brother Ben, had I been on the show, she would have been behind the woodshed getting that ass toe up. Excuse me.
Good morning to everyone watching us on ACT TV and all the different channels, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. I think I said YouTube, all the places. There's so many places, too many places to stream these days. But wherever you're streaming, click the like, comment, and share button. Subscribe. That's the one I'm looking for. We want you to participate in the conversation. We do read the comments. We do filter through them, and we add some of them into the conversation. And we want you to participate that way. Brother Mac, here's the thing about Bill Maher. If I could segue a little bit, Bill Maher is that liberal that Martin Luther King, Dr. King, was talking about. He's the one that can't see his own, he believes himself to be probably the most progressive person in the country. And the only reason I'm going to him is because that is a very serious platform that he has. And the fact that he didn't challenge the misinformation that was coming from Bari Weiss, and the fact that he didn't challenge her for a specific reason, because she's his buddy in a particular fight that I won't get into. I know both of them. I know both of their inside baseball politics. They're on a team. You know what I mean? They're squatted up. And he is not going to risk that partnership and that friendship that he has with Bari Weiss to call her out on the lie that she just spread on his platform. Now, Brother Mac, not to juxtapose the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show to Bill Maher, because I think I have like 10 viewers. Shout out to all the viewers right now. But a lie does not tarry on this show. That's just it.
I'll say this, Ben. I certainly have to give trust your insight into this, but I will say this about Bill Maher. That's probably the only time I ever seen Bill Maher let something slide like that. And again, because we didn't see the entire clip, he may have come around and challenged her, because
you know what?
Every time I've watched him,
good point.
I've never known him to let something slide, but I'll leave that there. And
hey, this could be a teachable moment for me, and let's just let it ride, because let's see if he let it slide, because I haven't seen the rest of it. I could be getting a chin check here. Let's play as much of the clip as we need, Dwayne, to get context.
Yeah.
Your vaccine passport at a restaurant and still be asymptomatic and carrying Omicron. And you will realize, most importantly, that this is going to be remembered by the younger generation as a catastrophic moral crime. The city of Flint, Michigan, which is 80%, I think, minority students, has just announced indefinite virtual schooling. In the past 2 years, we've seen among young girls a 51% increase in self-harm. People are killing themselves. They are anxious. They are depressed. They are lonely. That is why we need to end it, more than any inconvenience that it's been to the rest of us. I think it's a pandemic. It's like, at this point.
And she got an applause there. Like, we'll get to Bill Maher in a second, Brother Mac, but did you see the little sleight of hand that she did with those three variables? I saw it all. So trust and believe, if I'm the host of the show, she is getting interrupted quick and in a hurry on every one of the lies. So I really, and Ben, let's not waste any time with this on Bill Maher. I'll go back and check that, because if indeed he allowed her to slide, I'm gonna be real disappointed in him, because other than that, I've always seen viewed him as a kind of stand-up guy and will call a spade. But in this case, you know what, Bro Mac, and to be fair, if it is the case that he did, because this is from Friday night, and we take Monday off, so I'm sure people in the audience already know. So we'll check out the comments in the section. We'll probably know before the first break is over. I do want to get to one of the first stories that we were going to cover. Sure. I don't know if you are you into cryptocurrency? Do you have? Well, I don't know if you want to share, but are you into Bitcoin?
I know about, I know some, I know surface information about Bitcoin, but personally, I have not invested in Bitcoin because I don't put my money in something that I ain't got a total understanding about. Yeah. But one of the things I can tell you about the cryptocurrency that is known as Bitcoin is that Bitcoin got as high as $66,000. It is as high as it got. And again, this
per coin, per coin, per one coin. Whole. My God,
one coin. So right now, if you wanted to buy one Bitcoin, you would have to give somebody $36,568. Now, being one of the reasons why, several of the reasons why I don't invest in Bitcoin is, number one, I don't know how many Bitcoins there are. I don't know at what point can you begin to flood the market with Bitcoin.
That's right.
But here's the part that scares me the most, is that you hear about this mining for Bitcoins. And when they say they're mining for Bitcoins, I'm saying that you have people who do this, who will locate their facility near a dam so that they could use the water from the dam to not so much generate the electricity, but use cooling, the power to try to cool the servers, because they got that many servers and trying to find the Bitcoin. But here's the problem that scares me more than anything. If one of these hackers somehow hacks your account and they steal your Bitcoin, you have no recourse. You cannot go to the SEC, you can't go to the FBI, you can't go to the CIA. You are just SOL. You're done. Somebody done hacked your Bitcoin and they're gone. So for those reasons and others, I don't follow Bitcoin. But now here's one of the things that I saw yesterday in regards to, and I think you want to talk about how much Bitcoin has fallen. So from its high of the high 60 thousands of dollars. So I'm going to say $65,000 to $69,000 is where it got to that height. There are some NFL players, and in particular, what's the player for the Rams? He used to play with the Giants, made the great
Odell Beckham.
Odell Beckham. So when Odell signed with the Rams, he signed a contract, I want to say somewhere around mid $700,000, and he elected to be paid in Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. Well, if you go back and look at what Bitcoin was trading at the time he signed with the Rams, it was in that 50, 60 some odd $1,000 range.
Oh.
So now with the fall that Bitcoin has been going through.
Oh man, my man, Odell.
You got to remember now. So let's assume it's 700,000, which now means that if Bitcoin is falling the way it has in half, 50%, now he's getting 300. His value is 350,000. However,
wow,
he's being taxed on what he was paid. So they did an analysis that says somewhere Odell Beckham at this very point is playing football for about $35,000 a year based on the contract he signed and getting paid in Bitcoin. And so there's a lot of uncertainty about this cryptocurrency that I don't quite understand. But go ahead,
Dwayne. I thought I heard you.
Your point too. On top of that, after he signed that contract and went to LA, he actually did like a giveaway on Twitter. I think it was like the first 2,500 people that he picked 2,500 people and gave them all like $100 worth of Bitcoin. So he might even be playing for less than that.
Right.
So, wow.
Right.
Wow. Well, here's the thing.
But listen, more importantly, man, on some levels we could think that's crazy, right? But you got to think about the people. See, I remember when Bitcoin was $2,000 a coin.
That's right.
And now it's 60. Now it's 35,000, but it has gone up to 60 some odd thousand. So the advance in technology that we don't understand don't mean it's crazy. There's a lot of folks who made a lot of money off of it. I'm just one that didn't quite understand it. And so this fall in Bitcoin, and there's a lot of people who are adapting Bitcoin. Now, if you want to talk about that, talk about somebody like Elon Musk and Tesla. So Elon Musk took a lot of the money that Tesla had in its reserve and he bought Bitcoin with it. So I can't wait to see the earnings report from Tesla to see what was the negative impact of where he bought Bitcoin, where it dropped to, and now how is the corporate earnings based on that?
Yes, sir. Wait, how much? Wait, I didn't know that story. So part of Tesla's net value is a certain amount of Bitcoin.
That's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Good morning, Elon Musk. I know this is not a good morning for you, so it is a spectacularly great morning for me, all things considered. I hate to be that guy, but Elon Musk is in our next story, Dr. Mack. I'll hold that till you're finished with the Bitcoin thought.
So not only in Bitcoin, but for those of us who are concerned about what's happening with the market. So let me just give you a brief financial lesson on here. So aside from being a student of history, this is why I retired, because I was able to educate myself on investing in finance.
Teach us, wise one, please. Seriously, real talk.
Well, I'll say this too, and I always said this, a holistic education has 4 components. There's a training component, which colleges, universities, schools give you. There's a spiritual component. You need to believe in something bigger than yourself. There's a cultural component. You need to know who you are. And then there's a financial component. You need to understand money. So this is that financial component of what I want to try to explain to folks now. So part of why we're seeing such swings and drop in the market is because during the pandemic, the Feds, and again, now you have to imagine, how is it that the stock market was going up the way it was when so many companies had shut down, so many people were not working? It was because the Federal Reserve, of whom the chair is Jerome Powell, who was first hired by Trump and now hired again, asked to stay on in the Biden administration. So Jerome Powell is chairman of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is arguably the most powerful financial entity in the world. So the Federal Reserve, during the pandemic, when companies were shutting down, they infused trillions of dollars into the American economy. I'm saying that they infused the kind of money that made it look like there was no pandemic. So that's why the market just kept going up, up, up. On top of infusing these trillions of dollars into the economy, they now took interest rates to 0. That's right. So these companies were able to go in and now secure enormous loans at 0 interest. So the one thing is 2 things that the market does not like. The market does not like high interest rates, and the market does not like uncertainties. So what they do is they call this quantitative easing is what the market is what the Federal Reserve was doing. Well, now that we're coming out of the pandemic, it is time to get the market back on its footings and let it stand. Well, the Federal Reserve took their eye off of the economy in some kind of way. And that's why you heard in the news a while back about the inflation rate spiking to 7%. Now, you don't have to worry about whether or not you understand the inflation rate. Let me help you understand it in as simple terms as I can. When you go to the gas pump and you see the price of gas going up the way it is, that's inflation. When you go to the store and that loaf of bread that you used to get, and you've seen that loaf of bread go way up, you've seen eggs go way up, milk, just common goods that you normally buy. When you've been seeing those prices go up dramatically over the last 3 or 4 months, that's inflation. So now the feds understand that the only way that they can control inflation is they have to now begin to raise rates. The moment they talk about raising rates, the market spooked, especially when they realized how high the inflation rate was. So now today, Jerome Powell, today and tomorrow, the feds are meeting. And what Wall Street, the reason you saw the market drop as bad as it did yesterday is because Wall Street is trying to price in what they believe the feds are going to do. So they believe that the Federal Reserve, at its worst, should raise interest rates by 100 basis points. Now, 100 basis points means basically 1%.
Brother Mac, I'm gonna jump in there only because we're at the half-hour mark, but also because I got like 20 questions about the first 2 sentences you said.
And I'm sorry if that seems so technical, but anyway, that's kind of what. No
problem. I mean, and don't get me wrong, right? You take me back to my macroeconomics course, so some of it rings a bell. But DJ Exclusive is in the house. We're going to take a quick break. Georgia Fort's not with us today, but it's because of a great reason. We'll talk about it when we get back with more on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show.
What you want from me? Tell me what it is, don't tell me what it ain't. They try to throw salt, it just made the pressure raise. Going through a phase, gotta get myself out it. Don't talk about it, boy, they said you gotta be about it. So I be trying to face the world head on. Front seat riding, cruising down the meadows. Pedal to the meadow, cool breeze blowing down the windows. Calm trees blowing trees, get that voice some headroom.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome.
Moves for the night.
James Williams is in the building. DJ Exclusive is here. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Now, Swart, make sure you grab your tea, your coffee, whatever it is you need.
Hope them boys don't
get your morning started. Good morning to you.
Do not speak up in my own world. I don't try to girl, tell me what you want. Don't be trying to front like I ain't what you want. I ain't here to stun, let me take you out for lunch. I'ma get you drunk, yeah, filling on your buns. Licks in the blunt, I got ash in my cup. All these girls showing up, but I don't give a fuck. Cause you the one I want, girl, you the one I want. Yeah, you the one I want. Girl, you the one I want. Hey, come and show me love. You wanna be a rider, and I'm feeling hot.
Good morning, everybody. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. We got more coming up next in the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. Good morning, everybody.
I asked her what she doing, she like nada. So she just chillin', about to get up in the shower. I said, alright, cool, I'ma be there in an hour. I just wanna live like a Kuna and Matata. I ain't got no time for no baby mama drama. All about my comments, my letters, no tomatoes. Always bragging what they got up in they wallet. Ain't no
good morning, everybody. I see y'all in the chat room. Good morning, good morning.
So I stay fly, gotta dress up in the sauna.
Good morning, mama. Love you, mother.
Tell me what it is. What you want from me?
Lawrence, Truth the Dragon, good morning to y'all.
From me?
Afraid not, William Moore, A.R. Walker, Emily Content,
they try to throw
Roller Dragon,
made the pressure raise.
Big Boy GMC21, good morning.
Don't talk about it, boy, they say
Susan Bradley, Sunny Wright, Sue Sheep, Mark S, what's going on, G-Man, Brother Chuck Diesel.
Pedal to the meadow, cool breeze blowing down the windows. Calm trees blowing trees, get that boy some headroom.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Wow, we literally just worked that out in real time. Brilliant. DJ Exclusive, brilliant. Dwayne in the background. Brother Carl Mack is here with us this morning. Listen, we are in the period where we would normally be talking with Georgia Fort, but Georgia Fort is not with us this morning for very good reasons. But because of that, we're still going to go on the clock and cover all the stories that Georgia Fort would in her absence. So let's go on the clock. Georgia Fort is not with us today because she just actually got pulled into the federal court trial of the 3 officers who have now been placed on trial for the killing or rather, these are civil rights charges on the federal level for the killing of it's so many. No, I was going to say Ahmaud Arbery, right? That's the problem. It's like, without the paper right in front of me, it's like, which black man are we talking about? But George Floyd in this case. And that's where Georgia Fort is this morning. And of course, these are the federal charges. So this is not actually, these are not on the state level. These are charges on the civil rights violations. These are charges that really these men had a responsibility to intervene. That's kind of the question at the end of the day. Did their lack of intervention and their commitment to what they're supposed to be doing, protecting and serving, and actually, Brother Mac, if I could just come back a little step further backwards and really ask that question. What responsibility do these people who carry a badge and say that they are here to protect and serve, do they even have a responsibility to look at a person in distress and intervene? Like when it's somebody who's on your team that's doing a bad thing, do police officers have a requirement? I don't know if that's even the question that's going to be at play in this court, but for me, that's the essential question.
Well, without question, Ben, and the simple way to look at that is this. No individual usurps the law. Nobody usurps the law. But there's a culture within law enforcement known as that thin blue line. Blue blood is thicker than any blood. And so that is why they did what they did. They would protect their own regardless if they're right, wrong, or indifferent. They will do that. They will protect each other. They will lie for each other. They go in there and they fill out police reports where they lie about it. So in what we all saw was an example of what common sense tells you. As you stated, their oath is to serve and to protect. And so we saw these guys stand back and say, no, if this is what one of our brethren is going to do, we are going to back him, even if it is wrong. And in this case, that wrong was the ultimate wrong because it caused the death of an individual. So should they be found guilty? Without question, they should be found guilty. Because trust and believe, Ben, we all know if you are riding in a car, if you, I, and the DJ are all in the car, and I have some illegal drugs in my possession and y'all with me, y'all going down too. Everybody understands that. So this was an example of what we have seen time and time and time again. This is why, even in the case of us wanting to get more minority officers into law enforcement that they can bring about an understanding. But when they come in, they forget their blackness, they forget their ethnicity, and instead adopt that code of the blue line that we will protect. That blue blood is thicker than any blood. And so they simply sat back and allowed one of their brethren to commit a heinous crime, and they backed him. And they should be held responsible, no different than William Bryant was held responsible in the Ahmaud Arbery case. He too was found guilty and held accountable. These 3 should be held accountable as well.
Here's the note from Georgia letting us know that she wasn't going to be able to be here this morning. She said, my name just got pulled to be in the federal court today. Apparently, the journalist who was supposed to be in today got COVID. And so she'll sit in for that journalist. She won't be able to make it, obviously, because, travel time. And obviously, that takes precedent. Georgia was one of the 2 journalists in the Derek Chauvin trial. The names are coming back to me. He is the officer who was found guilty of murder of George Floyd. And now the federal charges. The interesting thing is like, this guy, it seems like Derek Chauvin is going to turn state. So that blue loyalty, that thin blue line loyalty only goes so far. It goes far enough, though, Brother Mac, to hurt and harm and devastate every part of the Black community. in marginalized communities. But when the rubber meets the road, they turn on themselves.
Well, just as we named Derek Chauvin, and again, inside your calendar, Black Heritage Day, right? Inside there, on the picture, on the page with George Floyd, let us name these 3 officers that are now being held accountable: J. Alexander Cohen, Thomas Lane, and To Tao. These are the other 3 officers who sat back and watched this man's life be taken by the criminal act of one of their own, Derek Chauvin. That's and again, this is where that blue line, that culture of protecting at all cost, yielded one of the most devastating results that this country has seen and this country reacted to. Because again, the death of George Floyd, and we got to remember, when we heard those final words, those words from him, "I can't breathe." Well, just go back and remember that we first heard those words from a man named Eric Garner in New York City when he said he couldn't breathe. But why is it? And we watched Brother Garner's life be taken from him in the same tragic manner, yet those officers were not held accountable for it. So in the case of George Floyd, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. So just like that officer should have been held accountable, all of the officers around him should have been held accountable in the death of Eric Garner. But this is where this is how deeply rooted that blue line is within law enforcement. That's right. That they will protect their own and trust and believe. And I'll say this, Ben, as a last. When these deaths occur, millions and millions of dollars are paid out to families. Those millions and millions of dollars, you know where they come from? They don't come from the police department. They come from tax-paying citizens, us.
That's right.
So I can tell you one way that I believe that you can clean this up. See, the best way to clean up law enforcement is for it to happen within. And the one motivation we need to give them to clean it up from within, instead of these tax-paying dollars, these payouts and civil lawsuits coming from the taxpayers, let them come from the police pension funds. I guarantee you that if you and I, Ben, are law enforcement officers, and I'm out there doing some recklessness, craziness, and it's going to affect your pension, you'll be the first one to slap me upside the head and be like, "Look, brother, you better get right because you're messing with my pension right now with that foolishness." That's right. So we need to take this from these lawsuits being paid from taxpayers and let them be paid from the pension funds of police. I guarantee you we'll begin to see reform take place in a quick and in a hurry.
That is an elegant solution. A matter of fact, I don't know why cities are. I have an idea why cities aren't doing that already. As much as I am a union man, one union that I don't dig are police unions. Police unions are not regular unions in the sense that they are definitely not there. If police are not there to protect and serve, and that's kind of arguable. You might have good police in your neighborhood over there, but that's arguable. But one group that's not here to help you at all, and that's the police unions. And I would say those are the pressures that are on the city by city level that is keeping cities from doing something sensible like that, Brother Matt, because that just makes too much sense what you said. Why is it that taxpayers have to foot the bill for bad cops when bad cops don't even have to foot the bill for bad cops?
Exactly. Not only do we foot the bill for them, but we also foot the bill probably in their lawsuits, when they have to be represented. So trust and believe, one of the solutions, I get the body cam, I get all the things that we're talking about. But as we always say, when you want to understand the crime, follow the money. That's right. Make them financially liable for the lawsuits that have to be paid out, for the nonsense, the inhumanity, the violation of their oath. Make them financially responsible. And I guarantee you that the cleanup, the police reform that we so long have been screaming, it will take place because they will begin to do that. Because like I said, Ben, if you know that my foolishness is going to affect your bottom line, your pension, I'm not going to have to worry about the courts getting me right. My partner, Ben Dixon, is going to be the first one to put that 2x4 up against my head to the white meat and say, "Brother, you better get right because you're messing with my family's money and my retirement, and we ain't going to have that."
Mac, and you know what? Absolutely. I'm not going. I like to pat ourselves on the back, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let y'all do that in the comment section. I want to dovetail this back to why Georgia's not here. Georgia Ford is not here this morning because she is inside of the courtroom for the federal court trial against those three men. Question for you, Brother Mac. What date in Black history did those notes that you just gave? What date did that occur?
It occurred on the very date that George Floyd was murdered, May 25th. So on May 25th.
Could you get Google? Is Google awake over there?
Here we go.
Hey, Google, what happened in Black history on May 25th?
On May 25th, 2020, George Floyd Jr. became yet another victim of police brutality. His death was videotaped on a cell phone by 17-year-old Darnella Frazier. The world watched as Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin placed his knee on Floyd's neck. Floyd's death caused the largest protest in the history of America. Black Lives Matter protests began in over 2,000 cities, in all 50 states and multiple other countries, and involved an estimated 25 million people in the United States alone. Chauvin was convicted of Floyd's murder and sentenced to 22.5 years. Adapted from Black Heritage Day 4 calendar by author, lecturer, and civil rights activist Dr. Karl Mack.
Brother Mack, I want to ask you if you have blackheritagedays.com. That is a website where people can get the Black History calendar that we just got through listening to. We got through listening to it because it is something that is picked up by Google, and anyone can ask their audience. They could, well, not their audience. They can ask their device, "Hey Google," et cetera, et cetera. Did you know what was important in history? I got an email telling me today in history. I just want to. She is very sensitive over there. She definitely has good ears. Did you know what I got an email about in history for today? The first canned beer went on sale today in history. That's somebody sent me that email. The first canned beer was something. I am very curious. Hey Google, what happened today in Black history?
On January 25, 1980, Black Entertainment Television, BET, began broadcasting. The network was founded by Robert L. Johnson, who was born in Hickory, Mississippi. A member of Kappa Alpha Psi, Johnson earned his master's degree from Princeton University in 1972. He founded BET in 1979, and it went on to become the first Black-owned company ever traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Johnson sold BET to Viacom for $3 billion. In 2002, he became the first Black majority club owner of a major American sports team, the Charlotte Bobcats. Adapted from Black Heritage Day 4 calendar by author, lecturer, and civil rights activist Dr. Karl Mack.
And Brother Mac, we have the B-roll for that. We'll get the B-roll when we talk about it again in the next segment. But I have to juxtapose what's important to some folks. The first canned beer went on sale today. You know how America loves beer. In Black history, BET started broadcasting. Brother Mac.
Ben, I got to tell you, as we sit here and we do these episodes, and of course, I've done Black history lectures across the country in some of the biggest corporations in this country, some of the best universities in this country. And I have my fingertips on the pulse of how little we know about our history. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you, Dwayne and David, DJ Exclusive, Rebecca, Georgia, for being able to use this platform so that we can share, just a little bit of knowledge. And certainly I feel so proud and honored that Google has come in and used Black Heritage Day 4 in a way that it is so very easy for us to just start our day with just a little insight to the beauty that is our experience in this country against insurmountable odds, and yet to accomplish what we did. So brother, I just want to thank you. And then finally, I want to say there's a reason why they call Georgia Fort. So when we think about, and you hear Ben and I laud how incredible this sister is, of all the reporters in the world, they call Georgia Fort, and there's a reason. And sister, even though you are not here physically, you are here in spirit with us, and we are so very, very proud of you, Sister Ford. Thank you so much for all that you do in keeping us informed and holding America accountable when she acts out in such a manner as that which resulted in the death of George Floyd and so many other young Black men and women.
Listen, since we're talking about Georgia, I'm going to take a little point of prerogative here. And put this on the record publicly because I've never put this on the record publicly. Sister Ford is, she's like the hero of one of the heroines of my personal narrative, because as we had 2021 was a really tough year for the Benjamin Dixon show. It wasn't even the Benjamin Dixon morning show. And I was getting ready to pick up a phone back in June to let the guys know, Dwayne and the rest of them, that, hey, I can't really take it any much further. Guess who called me the morning I was getting ready to call Dwayne and say, hey, man, we got to shut it down? Georgia Ford.
Georgia Ford. To
the rescue. And the rest is history. So shout out to her as she does what she does best, which is bear witness to history. Some of the most important events when they talk about the history of the United States of America, particularly in the pandemic, they're going to be talking about what happened to George Floyd because of the impact that has resonated across the world. And the person, one of the two journalists who was in the trial for Derek Chauvin, as well as now currently right now today inside of the courtroom for the trial, the federal trial for the three other officers,
is our very
her home
own.
Is right here. She got a home here.
Shall we have a toast for Sister Ford?
Here, Sister Ford.
Here.
Cheers to you. Cheers to you, sis. Now let's go to somebody who is not doesn't even really deserve to be juxtaposed as the likes of Georgia Ford, and that would be none other than Elon Musk. Has no right to be compared, but I don't want to throw Georgia into that fire. That's my personal fire. Elon Musk is starting to prepare, are inching. This is the language that they use. They're creeping towards human trials of microchips that are to be implanted in the human brain. Now, I am not one who is anti-technology. I'm not one who thinks that if you put a chip in your body, it's like the mark of the beast. I don't believe in that. I'm not into that. I'm actually pro-technology. My beef with Elon Musk is that I believe Nikola Tesla would absolutely hate that man's guts with the fire of 10,000 suns. And yet he's taken that name. But here's the thing. Didn't Tesla have like a quarter of all of their lifetime sales recalled? And this is the guy that you want putting a brain chip in your brain. I don't know. It's a lot, Brother Mac. I don't even know how to parse it. There's a lot going on with that story, but I think it is a testament to the future. I mean, people are going to start augmenting themselves. That's what all of our science fiction has told us for the last 50 years. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just opposed to it coming from a guy like Elon Musk, personally. But that might not be your case. What do you think?
Well, Ben, you're right. It's not my case. It is without question. I always say that you judge a person on their body of work, and make no mistake about it. Elon Musk is one of the most brilliant men of our time. He is the.
I'm so glad you feel that way. Yes, talk, Brother Mac.
He is an absolutely brilliant man with a brilliant mind who's come up with some incredible innovations. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you right now. My home, I save in my energy costs because of Elon Musk, because trust and believe, from Solar City, which is a subsidiary of Tesla, created by Elon Musk. Those solar panels are on my house. Now, my energy bill every month was $300 easy. And that's been cut in half because I'm now harnessing the power of the sun, the power of my home. And that's one of the innovations of Elon Musk. So without question, he is a brilliant man. But
can I just real quick to that? There's a partner who lives right next to my father-in-law in Jacksonville, and he outfitted the whole neighborhood with solar panels just on GP. But shout out, it's good. I'm glad that the subsidiary of Tesla did that. That is definitely worthwhile. That's not something small,
but
right? That is actually good.
Yeah, but trust and believe
it's kind of like a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires.
Neuralink.
Okay, I'm sorry. The clip just started playing. Not nowhere. Okay. Go ahead, Brother Mac.
But I will say this. But with all the genius of Elon Musk, if ever there is an area in which I now become in line with the anti-vaxxers who said that the vaccine was just a way for them to put something in your body to track you. See, now. See, it's not even a conspiracy because you are going to listen to Elon Musk tell you that's what he wants to do. So if there's one area of your technology that I am absolutely going to refuse. It is that you're going to put something in my brain so that you can track me and understand how I think. That is where we will absolutely draw the line. And if Trump was saying he was against it, for once in my natural life, I would be in line with negative 35, because you are not putting that in my brain for no reason. That level of technology, Mr. Musk, we have drawn a line, and I would kick your ass if you try to put something like that in my
You got to put monkey in front of it, brother. Back monkey ass. DJ Exclusive, I hear you there, bro. I got to bring you in the conversation. Y'all do realize 9 times out of 10, I'm not even looking at a computer screen, but I heard you, brother. DJ Exclusive, I want to know if you could augment your reality and put a chip in your brain and be able to see the whole internet, like a virtual reality becomes your real reality, would you do it?
It just depends on what the chip is for. Like I said, to augment my reality, starting off, no. I'm going to wait a few years, just like any technology. Most times I don't wait for technology, but yes, on that, something that's going inside of my body, I'm going to wait a few years to see what it does and see if anybody gets possessed or turns into zombies under control, mind control. I watch too many science fiction movies for stuff like this, and I already know the outcome of it. But I mean, if everything works all right and it's good, I'm just like, okay, I'll jump on board. But not in my brain, though. I don't know if it's going to be in my brain, though, bro. It's not in the brain.
But DJ, let me say this. See, you say it depends on how it starts out. I want you to remember, anytime they put a toll booth up, when they want to put a toll on a bridge or a road, I want you to remember what they say to us. This toll will only be in effect until we pay for the road or we pay for the bridge. Well, trust and believe. Those tolls have paid for those roads and those bridges times and times and times again, but they will not take that toll off because it's become a cash cow. So I don't care what original reason they tell you that they want to put it in your brain. Trust and believe the evilness of man, the capitalistic nature of man is going to allow him that now once that's in you to do whatever they need to do to either control you and to make money off of you. So trust and believe. Augmented reality, whatever. You ain't putting it in me. I'm not having that, Elon Musk.
What if it was your own chip? I got a million questions.
But you can take your smart ass somewhere else because you're not putting that in my brain. I ain't having it. Now, there's one organ that I wouldn't care if you put it in.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Augment this. Here we go. Listen, check me out. That's a trademark. You heard that first here on the Bitch Morning Show. Here's the thing, Brother Mac. I just got to update you. You do know Elon Musk did not create Tesla, though, the Tesla car company. He didn't found that company.
I think what Elon Musk, I don't know the answer to that, Ben, but I know this.
Well, I'm not trying to trick you. I'm just saying it's a. I just want to give a point of information because I just want to. We only have a couple seconds here. I want to make sure I dovetail that piece of information. Elon Musk did not found Tesla. Tesla was already functioning and working. Elon Musk invested, I think, about $30 million. I could have the number wrong, but he invested, and then part of that investment included a couple of lawsuits where he forced the owners to call him a co-founder. He got the title of co-founder of Tesla or founder of Tesla through a lawsuit, not through actual action. So that's why I wouldn't want him putting a chip in my brain.
So listen, whatever the situation was and how the company was founded, that is what it is. But make no mistake about it. The technology that he brings, that insight that he brings, it's not to be disputed. The man is absolutely brilliant. Again, you want to look at something. Just think about the fact that this guy shoots rockets up, and now these rockets come back.
He didn't found SpaceX either. He just had some money. Anyway, listen, I don't want to sound like a hater.
Dr. Matt, Ben just doesn't like Elon Musk, Dr. Matt. That's all it is.
I see that.
I see that. Well, especially when you are a broke down. He's basically Lex Luthor with hair plugs without the genius part. But I digress. DJ Exclusive, take us to break because I don't know. If I stay on here, I'm going to say something else bad about Elon Musk.
I think he might be like some kind of a genius,
Right. DJ, make no mistake about it. We are definitely seeing some hateration come from our brother.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, Dr. Mac.
Hey, if you're gonna hate up. Hate up.
Now I'm in the game, I was on the bench. First I was renting, now I'm collecting rent. First it with the Beamer, now I want the Benz. Spending all the bag like here I go again. Outside says chirp, now the camera's on.
Elon Musk damn near is Tony Stark around here.
Why you acting different when the camera's on? Why you acting different like your paper long? 8 day wake up and I thank God. Bad decision got you wishing you could say nah. My city gritty, you could get hit any day now. On my mama, I'ma move my family way out. With some 20s, 50s, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, zillions.
And don't y'all be
Amazon money, talking so much money I could mess around and buy
Elon Musk
Amazon.
do come out with an iron suit.
Winning, I'm like, why
Iron Man started off the same way. He's a billionaire playboy with all this money. And then all of a sudden he started fighting crime because he almost got killed. Watch what I say. Elon Musk is going to be the next Iron Man, goddammit. Iron suit coming and everything.
Money in the carry on, I'm going planes. Money in the carry on.
Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Good morning again, everyone. Welcome into the chat room in the Big Morning. So y'all, like it or not, it's starting up next with your girl, Rebecca Azor. What they say on the show? Azor. I can't remember what they said, but it was funny as hell.
I said it before, I'm a 101.
Good morning, everybody. Extra Greg, good morning. Six Dragon Daddy. What's going on, brother? Shelby Hall, what's going on?
You want that watch, you better rock a tech. You want that chain, you better cop a vest.
Rebecca Johnson, good morning. And yes, sir, you are right, Rebecca. Craig and Lemon, good morning. Brenda Johnson, hey, Brenda. Iris Jones, good morning. Bluebird on my shoulder, good morning, y'all. Shut up, Goku. Good morning to you. Somebody. All right, y'all. While we got time as well, too, before I light it up and get started. It's a different Rebecca. It's Rebecca Johnson. It's a different Rebecca, y'all. Y'all, yeah, not that Rebecca. It's a different Rebecca in the chat room. Y'all tripping. Other side of majority, I got you. Good morning to you. Tiger Katsuni says, I can't get down with the man whose parents owned an emerald mine in apartheid, a.k.a. Elon Musk. That's where he got his money to get started in PayPal. Hey, the thing is, Tiger, that's half of these billionaires out here. They are always with the silver spoon, always doing something illegal, and always something that they ain't no business doing. All right, y'all, new patron members for this morning. We have Kyle S., Michael J., Kimmy R., and we have Bailey Pooh. Bailey Pooh, good morning. New Twitch subscribers, we have Gilly Orgy. Gilly Orgy. Okay, subscribe and welcome. Welcome, Gilly Orgy. I want to mess that up, but good morning to you. Livis X subscriber come in and they've been subscribed for 5 months. Sunnyland the Kind Dragon gifted a subscription, and the Chicken Fried Dragon, good morning, Chicken Fried Dragon, gifted a 1-month subscription to Mundo 4994 and Fascist Killer, and a 3-month subscription to Marcus for Left Flank Vets, which is awesome, man. Thank you, Chicken Fried Dragon. And also, y'all, if you have done already, patreon.com/likeitOrNot, patreon.com/the BPD show. Join either one to get access to exclusive content, patron parties, everything, man. Make sure you don't miss it. Matter of fact, I think we are owed one more patron party for this month. What I'm going to do is make sure that it is, but yes, patron party this Friday. I'm going to go ahead and call it patron party. This Friday will be the last one for January. Yeah, so we'll see. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. Back to light it up. Good morning again, everybody. Brother Latif, good morning. Secular Way. Latino, good morning. Of course, he's not here yet. Anything else would be uncivilized.
I just bang on the set list. Going past supper when I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on the guest list. Young, to me, reckless. Gold in my soul, got the same on my necklace.
That's a special shout out from brother Dr. Mac. All right, y'all. Oh man, I'm tripping because I ain't played this damn song. Ladies, this is for you. If he can't appreciate your fruit jokes, you need to let that man go. Yeah. Y'all know what time it is. Come on. Okay, cool. Again, ladies, if he can't appreciate your fruit jokes, you need to let that man go. You like that the way, didn't you?
I got it. And DJ gave a shout out. I just got a message from my beautiful, my favorite people in the world, Dr. Lydia Patton. And you want to talk about an absolute love of my life. This woman is just absolutely incredible. She was the first woman city manager of Portsmouth, Virginia. And when she worked at IIT, her and I went over to St. Lucia, and she ultimately went to the Caribbean and pulled 100 Black children out of there to come to the United States, children that never would have had the opportunity to get a full education. And these kids have gone on to not only get engineering degrees, but get master's degrees in engineering, doctorates in engineering. Dr. Patton, I love you.
I have a friend from St. Lucia. We go all the way back to young Black man from St. Lucia. And I know that doesn't, not every Black man from St. Lucia that I met is a part of that program, but I got to find out if my homie is a part of that program. And so shout out and good morning to Dr. Patton, and shout out to all the brilliant people watching and participating in this conversation. DJ Exclusive, I missed most of the jokes in the background during commercial break, but I got just enough for the mango. But which one was the one that had Brother Mac like howling in the background during the break? Because he was. Did you tell more than one?
Which? Oh no, it was that. We talking about just now? We talking about last week?
Was it the mango one? What was the? Give me the first part of the mango, because all I heard was mango. To be honest with you,
it was the mango. Yeah,
all I heard was mango.
Ladies, if he can't appreciate your fruit jokes, you need to let that man go.
I probably would have said fruit cakes. Anyway, I digress. Let's go on to let's go to this next story. James.
Ben ain't get it.
No, I got it.
He's so slow.
No,
hey, DJ.
So slow.
DJ,
no, y'all didn't get it. Y'all didn't get it. I would have changed the joke, and it would have been. I guess it wouldn't have been a dad joke then, because I said if he don't like your fruit cakes, then you need to let that man go. I got the mango part. I was
mango going fruit cakes.
I know.
DJ Ben is
exactly. That's the whole point.
Of the three of us.
Cakes, yams. What part do you need? Do you need me to say yams, the cakes, the cheeks? What part? My mind was in a different place this morning. Let's go to the next story, gentlemen. Before you make me expose all of myself here on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show.
That is for OnlyFans, brother. Oh my God! Today, Jesus Christ.
That is only for Patreon.
Benjamin, this is a wholesome show, Benjamin.
My mother is watching. Good morning, mother.
Your mother is watching. She already heard the joke about the club and erectile. Okay, go ahead, sir.
James, did you believe you had to play so much gospel music when you came to my family reunion?
Ben say, play gospel music. I said, Ben, this is the only song I got. I don't DJ church parties.
Bubba, you played the same song on repeat for 2.5 hours.
I did. Kirk Franklin. I've been looking for you. About an hour.
I'm done with y'all, man. I am done with y'all.
So I got it honestly. Y'all know listen, I'm not shy at all. I just have to publicly be shy because my mother is so sanctified. But I digress. Brother Mac, I have no idea what we're talking. What we talking about the way
But look, y'all. But then look, I like the way your mood came on, and I think he said the N-word. If y'all don't know what the N-word is, black people, ninja. Just say ninja. All you heard is her for, oh my Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus. I'm like, oh, that's the only one being.
I had to text James and said, James, give me the clean version. And he was like, Ben, that is the clean version.
Brother Ben, that is a clean version.
Y'all better look at my face. You know I ain't finding that funny.
Oh, man. Damn. I'm not innocent, but I just certainly have to play one on TV because that was my family reunion, y'all. My family is pretty holy. Y'all pray for me because I have not. That's why I'm not in the pulpit anymore. But I want to go to Lizzo, who, anyway, I can't say a lot about her because I think she's one of the most fabulous artists out here. I love her music. I love her style. I love her confidence. I love everything about her. DJ exclusive. She's in. What is this that she's doing? I got to go to my notes here. There's an ad of her doing something with Sean. My God, do I love her. Like, her music is unbelievable. They're headlining iHeartRadio's Living Black celebration.
Oh, wow.
You know anything about that?
No, I have not. I haven't been on the news recently.
It should be on our screen now. And so this is a big move. This is Lizzo, her, Big Sean, and a whole lot more. They're going to be headlining iHeartRadio's Living Black celebration. This is iHeartRadio. My show is on iHeartRadio, not that they pay me anything. It's like iHeartRadio is kind of like YouTube in that regard. So it's not like,
Me too.
You know, I used to tell people, I used to say, oh yeah, my show's on iHeartRadio. And they'd be like, ooh, that's great. And I'd be like, I don't get any money for it. But anyway, it is, I think iHeartRadio has to be like the biggest radio network in the country. I mean, like tangible radio stations, like while everybody else was taking their money out of radio, iHeart started on the internet, right? And then they put all their money into local, like buying local radio stations and like Clear Channel. I don't know, Brother Mac, you remember Clear Channel back in the day? iHeartRadio is now doing that. And part of what they're doing is they're putting the Lizzo and a couple of other hip hop and R&B artists on this celebration.
But Ben, let me tell you where my heart and soul in iHeart, let me tell you where that story is going to me as I'm listening to you. Mm-hmm. You know, the same thing that we talked about when Queen Azora, the last one, we were all together, is the same way we talked about TikTok making its fortune off the backs of Black folks. That's what I hear when I think about iHeartRadio, owned by white folks, being populated with Black talent. And now you telling me you ain't getting paid? Boy. Bring them fools to the table and let me be your agent and let's renegotiate that kind of understanding.
Oh, you know, we should, because when I started with them, I was just been with the orange background. Y'all got to go look at some of them old videos, man. Like, I know I'm gaining weight now, but boy, I look like a plump potato with a baseball cap on my head, trying to do a show with just me and like two people watching. And that's when I signed up with iHeartRadio. And so, but no, now you're right. Now they shouldn't be getting my stuff for free because what we're doing here is just too damn good between, I mean, just take any one of us and it's already too good.
I like the way Dr. Mac think. Yeah, Dr. Mac, go ahead with Brother Ben and y'all go ahead and get that negotiation going because iHeartRadio where the big money at.
But the bigger issue, though, Ben, is, again, here's yet another example of an entity coming in and financially gaining off of the talents of us as a people. That's my issue. Right. That was my issue.
No, that's right. That's a fact.
Yeah. With iHeart, TikTok, go down the line.
That's right. That's right.
So anyway,
they come into our community. No, that is the right. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
To pour cold water. Well, no, I ain't sorry. The hell with that.
No. See, here's the thing. I like Lizzo. I absolutely adore her with Daniel Caesar, is his last name? What was that song? Anyway, it'll come to me. I love all these artists. Big Sean, absolutely love Big Sean. So I love the artists, but I'm not giving iHeartRadio a shout out on my show without everything that you just said in the back of my heart. But you know what I also know how to do? I know how to ride the algorithm with them. So go ahead and promote the hell out of that show, iHeart.
Well, trust and believe, the salt that I just poured was not aimed at any of the artists that you mentioned. Much love to them. You know, that salt is based on, once again, the overarching viewpoint of others capitalizing off of the talents of our community.
There's no doubt about that. There's none. All
right. Play the other story. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Do we? I don't even know if we have a clip. I'm just trying to see if I. Okay, so it's just beer. All right, so I want to go to one other story, though, and it is right along the lines of the story we talked about last week with Prince. What was his Prince net worth not his net worth, but the value of his estate was valuated at $156.4 million in his final valuation. I want to juxtapose that. There's a story in here, and I don't see it. I believe Bob Dylan. Is that right, Dwayne? Do you have that B-roll? Bob Dylan, his estate, not his estate, but he just got purchased by Sony. His catalog got purchased by Sony somewhere in that same ballpark of about 200 million. Now, these are some big numbers for artists because generally speaking, black or white, this industry, the music industry has been excellent at doing exactly what you said, Brother Mac, particularly if you're black. They're really good at exploiting your talent and getting all the money. And there's so many artists. If you, Dionne Warwick, she has a campaign that she is running about all of the artists whose music is played on the radio and they don't get a dime if they're not the songwriter, right? If they're just singing, they're the performing artist, they don't get a dime. Dionne Warwick is taking that charge. This is the world of the music industry. And those numbers for Prince, I don't know how you feel. My gut instinct was I felt like Prince should be worth more. But when I juxtapose it to what Bob Dylan's catalog is getting with Sony, I don't know. How do you feel? What do you think about the value of his worth there?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. It really doesn't matter what I think about his value. What's important is what Prince thought about his value. And so I saw an interview, and I would implore all of us to go back and look at this interview when Prince sat down and discussed why he changed his name. He had to drop it and become the symbol. And so the very thing that we're seeing in the music industry, if ever there is an honor that should be given to an individual, a legacy award, people like Diddy, Jay-Z, who now own their masters, this is exactly what Prince did. And so we all remember when all of a sudden it was an artist formerly known as Prince as he did it. But the rationale behind it is for what he just said. He said, look, I created this music. These are my masters. And they're taking my music and they're giving me little to nothing on it. And as a result, that's why he left the label and had to go under the title an artist formerly known as Prince. I would implore anybody to go back and look at it. So it means nothing about what I thought about his value. What I found so enlightening and so beautiful, and this man will forever be a hero to me, because he had the audacity to stand up against the music industry and basically pull that Muhammad Ali situation of, that's right. Look, I'm not going to fight your battles. If you can't see my work, then check it out. You will not be benefiting off my music. So you go ahead and take what you got right now. But no, there'll be no more music, even to the point that they took the title. They said, no, we even own your name, Prince, which is why he went under the title, an artist formerly known as Prince. So that's where the value proposition is. He saw his value.
He saw his own worth.
Just an absolutely phenomenal man, phenomenal talent. God rest his soul.
That's right. That's right. James, what are your thoughts on all this, man? I know we talked about it last week, but then Bob Dylan, and my instinct was, perception matters. My instinct does say that Prince should have been worth a little more, but what Brother Mac laid out is the absolute truth. He went and got every penny he could by drawing the line there. But I know the music industry is your world, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Dr. Mac, is true. People think that these artists value at a high rate, but if you look at it, some of the sales and everything, you don't get as much sales as you think from these album sales or whatnot. Excuse me. Yeah. So his valuation that came from property, some of his catalog. Right. And that's it. So, but his actual value worth, I wouldn't put a dollar sign on a lot of these people. That's what you are, a monetary value. Your value is so much higher to me. Come on, man. Prince's value don't have monetary value wise. That's fine. His value as an artist and as a person itself is what I care about, honestly and truly. Because, like I said, he made some excellent music, great music. That's right. Same thing with Aretha Franklin and a few of these other people. Right. Their valuation when it comes to monetary and their catalogs and everything wasn't high at all. But just them as people and as artists that's here for the industry and what they did just made them worth higher to me or whatnot.
But DJ, to that point. But I'd also say this: if anybody goes back and look at a documentary of James Brown, for whatever jokes you want to talk about. From a business perspective, James Brown was absolutely brilliant. And then there's a documentary on Netflix, The Black Godfather, Charles Avant, I believe. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant man, brilliant. So he is another brother who, if you do not know him, please go to Netflix and watch his documentary and see where his DNA is. His DNA is on so many artists from yesterday, today, and those going forward, because he too said that it is important for our artists to get the lion's share of their talent. And that's what the music industry has done over and over again. And certainly we know about the tragic cases of New Edition, TLC, and the like.
I was going to say, yep.
Yes. Because TLC especially, they making pennies on the dollar for all of these albums that they sold. TLC sold millions and millions of records and didn't get any money for it. Nothing.
And remember, and the brilliance of, so when you talk about the valuation of Prince, what we have to understand is that the music, the art that this man formed, it wasn't good art. It's timeless art.
Yes.
100 years from now, they're going to be playing that music.
Ooh.
So when you look at the valuation, 157 million, maybe pennies on the dollar, it reminds me of when Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion. Yep. And I remember when they bought Instagram for $1 billion, people thought Facebook had lost their mind. And now today, they want to take Facebook to court saying they stole Instagram for $1 billion. So when you look at it in today's dollar, you have to be forward thinking and think about that down in the future. So when you talk about the valuation, that is the artist known as Prince, 157 million is pennies compared to what that man is worth. Trust and believe.
But you got to know your worth. You got to know your worth, because you certainly can't expect this capitalistic system to say, oh, I truly think you're worth $1 billion. No, they're going to tell you, come work for me for $15 an hour.
We're being, if anybody has saw Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, right? If you see that movie, the last scene in that movie, and who was the brother Chadwell who played the trumpeter, I believe.
Bozeman, Chadwick. Oh yeah, he played everybody for that matter.
So if you look at that movie and pay attention to the final scene, where the white producer had been on him about coming and letting him write the music, and now he wants to sponsor him. And so at the end, Chadwick wants to go to him. But the white record producer said, well, the times have changed and it's not so popular. And the music that he gave him, he literally put a few dollars in his pocket, patted him on the chest, and walked away. In the last scene, they show all of these white artists playing and benefiting and making money off of his music. Pennies. They didn't even pay him pennies on the dollar. Damn, they just took the man's music. But even though that was a fictional portrayal in the scene, that is exactly what these record companies have done. And so that's why I give a shout out to people like James Brown, Charles Avant, Prince. And now you're seeing the legacy with people like Diddy, Jay-Z, and others. Who is the brother down in New Orleans who has his own label?
Master P in New Orleans.
Master P.
You also got Cash Money down in the Fifth Ward down there.
So just go down the line, and that is the beauty of what this industry has now done, is that you have these forerunners who have been the pioneers to show how to capitalize on the value of our talents. And so now that takes me back to iHeartRadio. They're making money because they're taking our talents. They have the capital to attract our talents, but whatever it is they're paying our talents, trust and believe they're making far more.
Guess who's getting paid good to do this kind of stuff?
Get right with us.
Yeah.
I'm a hater.
Quick,
Go ahead. You say.
Oh, I was about to say, I looked up the valuation of Michael Jackson's worth.
It's got to be over.
And just last year, in May 2021, they ruled his estate was worth $111 million. And we're talking about Michael Jackson.
Whatever, right?
Yeah, and granted, now what I did find out was, they claimed that it was worth $482 million when he passed in 2009, but the estate actually contested that value, saying that the bill was too high, was far too high for the heirs. So they went back and changed that, and they just changed that last year and made it 111 million.
I wonder how much of that net worth they gave away. Man, there's a lot of movement in that. In what you just described, there's a lot of machinations behind the scene. My God.
And the thing is, that was only 3 years. With the Prince estate, I really think they did change up some of that valuation, because reading about the Prince estate, there were so many people with their hands out, people, nephews, nieces, people that he didn't know, family members coming out the woodwork saying this. Jay-Z said it for best in one of his lines from 444, said that he sat down with Prince before he died. He told him what his plan was and everything. And of course, the person that was over his estate didn't follow those plans. So Jay-Z knew some of it, but hey, I digress.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
let's do this real quick. I want to go to a quick break. James, I don't know if you have any other song, but I know for sure we got your hit, Like It or Not. And when we come back, Rebecca Azor, Queen Azor, is joining us for Like It or Not. Benjamin Dixon Morning Show will be back.
What did they call her on the show? What did they call her? I can't remember.
I don't
what
know
the last name was. They messed her name up so bad. Azar. That's what it was.
Yeah, Like It or Not is on your channel. Yeah, politics and culture is.
All right, y'all. Make sure that you stay tuned. Rebecca is joining us next year on Like It or Not here on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. Y'all stay tuned. Good morning, everybody.
Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh, Rebecca Azor is coming through. You know she got a good story for you. Oh, Benjamin, that's my dog. This is his show. He's a politics bro. I am your DJ exclusive. Y'all know who I am. I stay dropping them jams. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh, like it or not, it's starting now. Like it or not, it's about to go down.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning. Tay Twin, good morning, y'all. Real quick, I have a real quick fact to tell y'all. Light travels faster than sound. That's why some people appear bright until you hear them speak. Good morning.
Now, bro, that ain't a dad joke. That's deep, brother. Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
And not care who doesn't like it, since Rebecca.
You're on mute.
Thanks, Dwayne.
Since you didn't want to come back with a dad joke, I got one for you. As I got out on the 12th floor, the lift operator said, "Have a nice day, son." I said, "Don't call me son. You're not my dad," I replied sarcastically. As the door closed, he looked at me in the eye and said, "No, but I brought you up, didn't I?"
Oh.
Oh.
That one was sweet, though. That was kind of sweet.
I'm glad. Thank you, Dr. Mack. Thank you, Dr. Mack. You got my back always.
I don't.
He's saying it's a double entendre for raising the boy.
Okay, so he found his time.
Yes. So
it is literally.
I be trying to soften these. Some of these jokes be. Anyway, Rebecca Azor.
Queen, Ben. Queen Azor.
Queen. Wait, he does. We got to change the lyrics. We got to add Queen Azor to the song. Queen Azor. You're in the music industry.
Rebecca sound better.
Sing it for us.
No, I had a tough week. I had a long weekend, so my voice is kind of more raspier than usual. So
I like raspy.
Well, raspy is nice. I would say raspy. I've always gotten that it's equivalent to sexy, so I'll take it. So raspy is nice.
That's her pillow talk voice, Ben. That's her pillow talk voice.
But in the morning, it can come off as, who is this man next to me? It depends on what time of day it is.
It is sexy until it's not. And then if I talk about Rebecca's voice.
It may be no sound coming out. And then, when I reach for the sound, it's coming in real low. And then give me about an hour or two to just get it to something.
Needs an hour?
It's a struggle.
Drink some water.
Wait, I gotta say this, Rebecca, because I don't want people thinking I'm talking about you. You talk about low. See, Brother Mac, those low voices that the sisters be having sometimes, they do be sexy until about 5:30 in the morning when they wake up, and my wife be like, "You gotta take the trash out." I'm like, "God damn it." So it changes, but then by the time she has her coffee, it's back to the most beautiful.
Oh no, man! A woman can say it. Take the trash out, go wash my car. I'm like, yeah, baby, no problem. I get that.
Well, not when it's giving you right here and you're like, go take the trash out. Like, it's like, oh, girl.
Hey, go take the trash out. Big, go take the trash out. Damn, what the hell? Dwayne, go get the baby bottle. What the hell?
I hear you. Wait a minute. Up again. I don't like that. I don't like this more. I don't even want to talk. Don't talk to me. I'm like, girl, what's going on here? But anyways, I went to a wedding of my friend. He's a celebrity PR agent here, but we grew up together in high school. And trans woman. And this was such a beautiful wedding. Man, oh man, had a really good time. And it was just great to see how far. You never know who you are in people's lives. I'm going to just say that. You just never know because, we were in high school and I remember so many people picking on her, and this is before she transitioned and went by Philip. So she was our friend, and my best friend and I, she flew up and we went to the wedding. And it was so beautiful to see how she was, when she was walking down the aisle, she looked at us and just had this fervor. And then sent us a message after that and said, you guys have been a real huge part of my life, even though we haven't spoken in so many years. But, before I even transitioned, you guys really spoke to me. You guys, when everybody else was picking on me, you guys loved on me. And I will never forget that. Now that's when we were literally in 9th, 10th grade. Wow. We even separated schools, and you just never know who you are in people's lives to the point where, now we're in Atlanta and, we've reconnected since then, but you just never know that what you did for somebody is helps them grow so much so that in their transition in life, they remember those good people to them, and they invite you to the biggest day of their lives. So that was such a moment.
Rebecca, that's a testament to you, sis. That is a dope story, and that is a testament to you being consistent since 9th grade. One of my biggest, James, and shout out to James for knowing every single patron's name. Like the patrons who come to the patron party, he knows everybody's name. He knows where they're from, and he misses them when they're gone. And I do too. One of my biggest and proudest achievements is that I have a patron who was in the marching band in high school with me. So I know, Rebecca, for you to, you don't have to stay connected with person every single day of their life. When you make an impact, no matter how long ago it was, that never leaves them.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because, back then I was very, we were brought up very religious. So, and at the time, she was Jamaican and we were Haitian, but we were brought up very religious.
Oh, wow.
And although what's funny is, in that moment, she never revealed to us that she was gay, or at the time gay, and never revealed to us that. And so we just knew. So it was one time she was telling me that she had a crush on my best friend, and I was like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Let's just call a thing a thing. I love you so much, and you don't have to put on, right?
Your best girlfriend.
My best friend, that's what he at the time was saying to me. I said, no, sweetie, that ain't it. that ain't it. And now today, she goes by Chanel. We just talked about it and we crack up. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see that. But at that time, my upbringing, then people was on the street. I remember used to hold up signs, you know, and hold up a particular Bible verse. Yeah. And I always thought that was
God
crazy.
hates.
And I was, against, you know, gay people or whatever. And I would be like, hey, this is not right, because if this is the same God that we're serving, then this God loves everyone, regardless of how we feel or what this, at the end of the day, this God that we serve wouldn't do this. Because if we're trying to bring people closer to, you know, this particular God, or this God, this same God that we're talking about, that's supposed to be the only God, that can't be the same, because this God wouldn't exclude love to people at all.
Oh, well, Rebecca, come on now. We all went to some of the same churches. They sending everybody to hell. Hell, I'm going to hell for listening to devil music, James.
I was so young, and for me to understand that, but like not feel comfortable with, you know, being a part of, you know, everybody churches on the corners on Saturday washing cars and holding up signs. How was that bringing you to the Lord? But it was just that, and just for us to go to school with people who we know were getting picked on. Mind you, at the time, she was 6'4", huge, 6'4", huge. You know what I'm saying? So people were just like, well, why is she so sweet? Why is she so this and that? And we're like, y'all chill. Like, she's such a good person. Like, all the time, no matter what. This was our clique. We always made sure, because I ain't even gonna lie, I know y'all see me fly today, but we used to get picked on all the time just for being Haitian anyway. Dark-skinned Haitian, it was just like all of that. So we were all in the underdog crew first few years of high school. So I ain't even gonna front on you. So we all got together and we loved on each other, like it or not, no matter where you came from, who your parents were, whatever. So yeah, that was such a thing, and still.
Did you sing at the wedding, Rebecca? Were you singing at the wedding?
No, but a church group actually sang at the wedding, and a Christian pastor actually ordained the wedding. So,
really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole lot. We don't.
You have a few allies out there. You know, you have a few allies out there. You'll be surprised. Like, not all of the ministers and pastors are. Oh, I can't say that. Can't be so wrong. Are not buttholes, butt faces. So there we go. So some of them are cool, and they respect your situation to be you, and I'm cool with that. But like I said, sometimes it's not for me.
Yeah. No, it's like for a lot of people. Brother Max is a Sunday school dropout. I'm a pastoral dropout. I had to get out of there because it's sometimes it's too strenuous even for a person like me. And y'all know I'm about as square as they come. I'm a Disney dad. I like, you know what I mean? I take care of my kids. I make money, and I try to take care of my community. That's what I do. But if I tell them how much weed I smoke, all of a sudden I'm like a reprobate and never to be allowed in churches ever again. You know, so
you are going
they
straight
can't handle
to hell,
that
man.
about me. I'm just saying, if they can't handle that about me, you know, there's some churches out here that can't handle nothing about nobody.
I guess the whole thing for me is, at the end of the day,
I just wanted to say that on air. That's all.
Get Jesus for yourself, and don't let people, no matter what you believe in. I think the whole thing of it is, I think if God is love, then we should just love people regardless. That doesn't mean that you have to accept somebody's way of living or whatever the case may be, but that also doesn't mean that you have to hate somebody be all up in their face throwing your hate on them because of what you believe is terrible. It's terrible.
Right.
Well, Rebecca,
you know what? We ain't gonna go there today. I was about to have another conversation, but we ain't gonna go there.
Hey man, you whenever you want to lead the way, man, you got it. But Rebecca, I was going to say that I believe that you are a good person. So shout out to you and the whole crew. It's good to have people. It's good to have folks who accept you for you. Period. This is the end of the conversation. This is who you are, and I love you because of you. If here's another reason I can't go into nobody's church, because my firm belief is that God don't care what's going on between our legs as long as it's consensual with adults. That's it. Whatever happens down there is not we're critters to God. That's why I can't go to church, because most people hear that and they, whatever. Rebecca, it's your show.
Is it my show? Rebecca. Well, I hate to be crazy. Ben just be but
and the way you just looked at him was like, man,
I'll take you everywhere and then drop it on you because I know you're brilliant. You got it. What we talking about
crazy. Today? Honestly, I need to get my nails done. But honestly, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, though. There's so much that went on in this weekend. So much news, y'all.
So much, yeah.
Before I start with this one, I want to recognize Regina King. Before we go anywhere with it, over the weekend, the son of the actor and director Regina King, Ian Alexander Jr., died by suicide. Okay, and this was Saturday. He was only 26. And a representative from King said that our family is devastated at the deepest level by the loss of Ian. He is such a bright light who cared so deeply about the happiness of others. Our family asked for respectful consideration during this private time. And this is really sad because she just celebrated a birthday, and her son, celebrated a birthday. And, she's 51, and for her to have lost her son literally right after to suicide.
Only child, right?
Her only child.
Oh, my God, I didn't know that part.
And it's crazy because earlier this year, singer Sinead O'Connor, her son committed suicide.
Wow.
In an Irish after leaving an Irish hospital, and they were looking for him, and he committed suicide as well. Man. I believe he was in his early 20s.
Oh, Dr. Mack, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, looks like we lost Ben and Rebecca's Zoom. Y'all stay tuned, man. We're going to go to a quick break, see if everything gets situated. Dwayne, are you there, sir? Okay. All right, y'all stay tuned, man. We will be right back with Ben and Rebecca as they rejoin the Zoom. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, all right?
I'm a little bit too consumed, but every part of my body is telling me to run away from you. Come a little bit closer, yeah. Come a little bit closer, yeah. You're a little bit crazy. It's been days, but you never change. What's love got to do with it? He comes around, better knock that stuff down. Come a little bit closer. Yeah, come a little bit closer, yeah. To all my ladies who got a brother that doesn't treat them right, put your finger right in his face and tell that man bye-bye. I'm too fly, I'm too fly. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. You're a little bit selfish. You get mad every time you lose. You can't take me with you. I'm scared you're gonna blow your fuse. Come a little bit closer. Yeah.
What's to be good? Good morning.
Really start over.
You are all right, sir. It was a long night. They're trying to blame me already for taking shots.
Mind, there's someone waiting on me. You're just wasting my time because you're scared and lonely. Finally got some closure. Yeah, I can finally start over. Yeah. So all my ladies who got a brother that doesn't treat them right, put your finger right in his face and tell that man bye-bye. I'm too fly, I'm too fly. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Here's to the memories. Cheers to who used to be.
Barbara, good morning to you. Mara Sharice, good morning, sister.
I'm glad that's what you believe. To all my ladies who got a brother that doesn't treat them right, put your finger right in his face and tell that man bye-bye. I'm too fly. I'm too fly.
All right, y'all. We looks like we are set to go. Welcome back to the screen, the crew, y'all.
That's how you spell goodbye.
I'm not sure what happened. but we got lost somewhere in the multiverse. We got snatched out of the conversation. Thanks for taking us to break, James.
Yeah, Ben, can I jump in for a second? So everybody out there listening, y'all didn't get to experience what I just experienced. The professionalism of Rebecca Azor was on full display just now. So I don't know what happened, but the whole computer today was on, just shut down. When I brought him back up, Rebecca was still just going on with her point, like nothing ever happened. Going on, and
like
Ben,
I heard her in the background, it's like
I could see Ben just nodding right along. Like they had a whole conversation with each other for like a minute and a half. They had their own show that y'all didn't get to see, but I just thought y'all should know.
And me and Dr. Mac was just like, Doc, you still there, Doc? Yeah, I'm here. Okay, let's go to break real quick, and we'll be right back.
me and Ben were just going because I said, and can I freeze? Ben was like, I can hear you just fine. So yeah, and then so my next point would be that Ben was just like,
We had a whole show going on in the background.
We had a whole show. But honestly, I guess just to wrap it up, I know that I don't know where we fell off in the story, but just sending condolences to the King family, even Sinead O'Connor and her family as well, because there's just so much. I know, and I know that I don't know if you guys heard this part, but on Fox Soul there is a show, I forget the name of it, but with Vivica Fox, Lisa Ray, and Selena Johnson. And because they're friends to Regina, Vivica Fox said she went to go see Regina. Regina said, not in these words, not in this tone, but that she's okay, or you know what I'm saying, like that things will be okay. She needs her privacy. She needs that time to mourn. That's right. Vivica Fox just started bawling out and crying, and she was saying that, we need to check on our kids, on our friends, on our families. The strong friends. And I was saying the strong friends, the weak friends, the weak sons, the weak, like whoever, right? Because we can be weak on a Tuesday, strong, for the rest of the week, right? It's so many different emotions that are coming into us, especially at this time. But so much of our young people are, feeling like life just gets to be too much and not knowing where to go. And it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor or whatever. Again, it really doesn't matter. Depression, mental health issues, like just feeling like life is too much. It'll come at you in so many different ways. The story of Robin Williams always.
Yeah. My God.
Somebody who was making us laugh, somebody who was in our face every day, somebody just felt like things just became too much. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, and it's just always good in these moments. I don't even know what to say. Like I said, I'm not a mother. I wouldn't know how it feels to lose a son or a child to suicide. So I don't know what that's like. But I do know I've had people from school or my surroundings who have felt like life was too much. And, depression may lead you down that road. That was one story for me. And I had to get myself out of depression so that I didn't go down that route. We've all been somewhere where this could just, life is just too much, especially right now, you guys. And, just sending condolences to both those women right now who lost their sons to suicide and anybody who is dealing with loss from suicide.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot. And I also want to just echo those condolences. I just, so many stories come to mind of there's one particular comedian, a Black man who at the height, he did a whole story. There's a YouTube video of it recounting his ascendancy in his comedian career. But as he was getting his big debut, I think it was Johnny Carson. It's an old clip. He was losing his daughter at the same time. She passed away. And I just like, what is it to be in the limelight like that brother and like Sister King, right? She has all of these achievements that now she has another burden on her that is more than any of us can imagine. I want to go back and watch that video and see how he resolved it, because I'm like you, Rebecca. I don't know what do you even say to somebody like that in this situation?
You don't know, and you just give my condolences, give my love, give my peace. I know people say, do you mourn over celebrities when they pass? And so sometimes you connect with a celebrity in different ways. Sometimes you might have loved that celebrity. They did something for you and that touched you. And you know, they don't know you, but you just feel like, geez, man, that it's just painful. But the fact that she lost her son, and again, I'm not a mother, but I couldn't imagine as a mother losing my child to that. I couldn't imagine as a parent losing my child to suicide and feeling like Sinead O'Connor, who lost her son as well, as I mentioned earlier this year as well, and feeling like it was my fault. I couldn't do anything about it. Why didn't they call me? Why didn't they reach out to me? You know, there's this weirdly enough, there's this weird retreat show that I watched at the sometime last year in the middle, and it had Nicole Kidman playing as the retreat counselor. And
I know what you're talking about, Rebecca.
Yeah, there was a family on there that went there, and their son committed suicide, but that was from being on drugs, right? The mother took the blame because she felt like it was her fault because she didn't read the directions correctly on the back of the bottle. And the one time that she didn't read the directions correctly, he ended up having the side effects of suicide and suicidal thoughts. And and she blamed herself. So condolences to anybody. I just, you know, it brings more pressure and sadness and depression on you. And then the family was breaking apart and arguing. And you see, it doesn't only, there's a ricochet that may happen. Of different feelings, different instances within the family. So, yeah.
Well, we'll be, well, I mean, what do you do in this situation, man? So we're just sending love and solidarity and light and support and warm thoughts. Sometimes you can't do nothing, man. So y'all want to know why I pray? I pray when I can't do nothing. I can't do not a thing to help Regina King, but I'm gonna pray for it. That's all I got. That's all I got.
That's really all we can do.
And love.
Yes, that's it.
Yep. Anyway, where are we now? We've covered all the news. We got 10 minutes left. We're at the end of the show. I do want to say this while I got it.
We have to cover Joe Biden in this.
Oh, we do. You dropped that. Wanted to get to that.
It's not really long. I really have not much to say.
Well, hang on. Before you get to that, I got to drop here that starting on Tuesday, the first Tuesday of every month, we're going to be joined by Dr. Amina. TM trademark. Dr. Amina, a friend of mine who's been following the show since the very beginning. I think year 2, she's been following the show. She's a psychiatrist and she's practicing clinician, and she's going to come on the show and we're going to be talking about a journey. She's taking us through a 12-month journey of collective trauma and grief because of well, hell, we've been through enough. All of us need to see somebody. But I digress. Rebecca, it's in your hands.
Which is going to be beautiful. That means our show is growing. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not a Patreon now, you make sure you go to patreon.com/like it or not. And because this thing is only going up from here. Okay. That's thing being this show, this platform, the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show.
Now, quiet as it's kept, Rebecca, you are a political ninja. We haven't even covered politics. What you got?
Well, yeah, so this is, you know, it's going to be political if y'all want it to be. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about what he said and how everyone is taking it, because we have two sides, right, and how they're taking it. So, on Monday, President Biden appeared to be caught on a hot mic, right? A lot of these presidents been having these hot mic moments, calling a Fox News correspondent a stupid son of a bitch. And after the journalist asked a question about inflation, and yes, I did say that. That word's in the Bible. It's unclear whether the president knew his mic was still on, but the moment was still caught on camera. He's asked, the journalist being Peter Ducey, asked, do you think inflation is a political liability? Do you think inflation is a political liability going into the midterms?
What was his answer?
Biden said, no, it's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bee. But I want you guys to hear and see the clip yourself. Let's take a look.
It's not bad, actually, Joe. Go for it.
Right.
Why are you sending 8,500 trips to Ukraine? What do you think President Biden inflation that? Do you think inflation is a political liability?
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
This is just like I gotta say this. So, I don't know what he looked like
in the Bible. I don't know what Bible I was reading. My bad.
Girl, I'm trying to ask you the same question.
It's in my Bible.
The Hood Bible.
It's in my Haitian Bible.
It's in the Hood Bible, baby. It's a deliberation Bible. This bitch. Anyway. I didn't see it, but Joe Biden reminds me of the curmudgeonly old uncle who about 100 years old, but just say whatever the hell they want to say. You ever run up on the wrong family member and they cuss you out just as good? That's what this moment reminded me of. Because that is, honestly, that's got to be one of the dumbest questions to ask. Do you think inflation is a liability? Well, no shit. Sorry, wrong show. My bad. Go ahead, Rebecca.
No
shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, no, seriously. But my thing is, after this moment on the hot mic was caught, here we go. As I scroll through my social media, I said I wasn't even going to tap on this conversation, but as I scroll through my social media before I prepare for bed, because I should have been in prayer, because that's why I think that BITCH is in the Bible. But so as I scroll through my social media, what I seen was, a lot of black people, of course, like the Shade Room and things like that, calling him Moneybag Joe. That's my president. My president is black. Yes, cuss him out. That's on P, period. Oh, president, he pushing P. All of that. That was it, because he said, son of a bitch. Now, I just need black people to understand, this is not the moment where we're like, oh, we invited him back to the cookout. Here go your plate, Joe. All of that right there. And, I just think that don't forget in this moment, because he said son of a bitch. Don't forget in this moment that we still are waiting for him to uphold these promises. So we still have to keep him, hold him accountable. Because a lot of times little cute things may happen. People be forgetting that person, that celebrity just was accused of rape.
Jesus,
3 times.
That escalated quickly, but you're right.
But that's what I'm saying. But just because something cute that fit the culture happened, we will literally just bypass it and forget it, depending on the celebrity, because, again, we pick and choose. But this is what I'm talking about for Joe Biden as well. Don't forget that just last week, we were just saying, we're holding him accountable. Joe, where's what did you, why is this? I know you did this, but these are what you ran off of. What are we looking at here? And then for the people who are right-wingers, right? The right-wing, racist, over-conservative people, white as right folks who were saying that Joe Biden should be unseated now, get him out of the White House now because of his comments. Please have a seat. Because Donald Trump said that about Mitch McConnell. Donald Trump in 2017 said that about the NFL players, called them son of a bitches. Donald Trump has said that on multiple occasions. And you guys literally went on January 6th to over there on the steps, okay? And literally tried to fight people over him not being president. Y'all was fighting for that man, okay? To stay seated. You guys never said anything when he was using that terminology, ever.
Facts.
And now Joe Biden said it, and now it's like, get him out of there. He's unpresidential. He's terrible for America. You guys are looking for a reason. So all of it.
And we talking about a man and we talking about another man, Trump, that used to grab people in the coochie. Let's not forget. Come on, man. Never forget.
Issues, right?
And Queen, don't forget what -45 said about Haiti, right?
Exactly. All this shithole country. So, I can never forget. 'Cause I read him for filth on that particular
Yes, you did. That one
comment.
got quite a few views.
You did.
Got 1 million. Over 1 million.
Yeah, it did.
But honestly, this is not the moment to be sitting on him saying son of a bitch, because just a few days ago, Kamala Harris again was talking to Savannah Guthrie, I believe, and she said period, and everybody was like,
Jesus Christ,
no. We don't need you saying period. You're not on our
period
side.
Pooh. That's what she's gonna say next. Period Pooh. Come on.
She was like, period. And all, but here's the thing. All the black people who are saying Moneybag Joe really was like, Kamala, where you been? No,
where
we don't care if you're saying period or not. The same fervor should be on Joe Biden as well.
Come on.
It's not really that serious. Like, we don't care where you been, what you've been doing, other than striking down the hallways of the White House.
I gotta be rude and interject. Because you just said something there that is, I don't even know we have enough time to explore. They look at the same play from Joe, and they're like, oh, money bags. And he's all right with them. They look at the same play from Kamala and be like, nah, sis, where the truth. why is that standard not the same? God dog, Rebecca, you just spliced that thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot to unpack here, and then it's also a lot to just unpack and put to the side because we still got work to do. And this is where a lot of people get sidetracked. I'm not going to focus on him saying, listen, it's been a hard few years for everybody. Just, you know what I'm saying? First of all, somebody named Ducci is over here talking about inflation, and it's like giving you simple questions just so that it can be fed to Fox News so that you can be caught in the moment. You know, it's all of that. We see that's what's happening. I'm not saying that what he said was presidential, but I'm saying if we're going to hold standards, there's a lot of places that we need to. It can't be the black woman being held to the same standard as the white man, and it cannot be Joe Biden being president not being held to the same standard as Donald Trump. Like we got to make sure this is. Listen, what is presidential in 2022? Do we even know?
God.
So that went out the window in what year was that? Trump got in office. All that went out the window then.
Lost track. 2016.
Right, exactly. I lost track.
Yeah, I was on air. I was on air when that man got elected. I kept my composure, but I was like, hot damn, the world's about to end. Little did we know how accurate that might have been. Listen, we're coming up at the end of the hour. We're going over to the after party, patreon.com/like it or not. Rebecca, a whole lot more to talk about over there. I've got nothing else.
When we do on tomorrow's show, I definitely want to cover a story that I've been following, and it's about Lauren Smith Fields. She went out, I think, on a Bumble date with the white man, and then was found dead in her apartment. And it was just ruled by, and I want to talk more about this tomorrow. So, but it was just ruled, her death was ruled a accident from the combined effects of like fentanyl, promethazine, hydroxyzine, and alcohol. Here's the thing, though. She went out with this white man. Police went over to the white man and said, hey, have you seen her? Do you know anything about her? And he was just like, we went on a date, but, that was about it. And then she was found dead in her apartment. And
what's that concoction add up to?
The police officers were like, this is what they said. He seemed like a good guy.
Okay. God damn, Rebecca, you're going to leave us with a dagger in our heart at the end.
That's on tomorrow's show. We'll further dig deeper on tomorrow's show and have more details on that conversation. And again, the woman is a young black woman and in her early 20s, and that's where a lot of, the questions, come into play. Police did not at all from the beginning of this, of her death, handle this with care at all, and it was more so in a racist way.
Because he seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
Wow. DJ Exclusive, give us some music as we get out of here. Dr. Mac, always a pleasure having you here. We're going to the after party, but for those of you who are not joining us, thank you so much for joining the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. Like it or not, Rebecca Zor, on the clock.
Are we staying public? I heard we stay in public. Okay. We're staying in public. See you in a few.
See everybody in the second. I'll shut up.
All right, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for today. We're staying public for today, but tomorrow we're going to private. If you have not already, patreon.com/like it or not, patreon.com/the BPD show. And also, real quick, I'm going to drop the music out for this. If you need help or you know someone that needs help, please call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. Again, 1-800-273-8255. Help is available, y'all. Call if you need to. All right? And y'all always hit me up in my DM too. I'll be there. I do what I can.
Time goes by and yet I wonder, why do we put each other through hell? Why can't we just get over ourselves? I know I should. You cast your spell and now and under another laughter and the pain. Will I ever love again? I don't know if I can take it anymore. Yeah, so I stay here and hold my heart.
Marquez is stupid. Frost Banana anytime.
Promise to myself and I repeat it in my head. Set your mind free. Set your mind free. No one knows what I've been through, but this is the end of me and you. Set your mind free. Oh, hey, oh, oh, right, yeah. I'm proud.